Sober today. How we all doing? Listen, I want to say the video that you witnessed, the video that you watched last night was me in truthful mode, but also drunk mode. And as you all know, sometimes, well, as the saying goes, the truth comes out when you're drunk. Anyway, today I want to talk about a TV show called Monty Python. Now, some of you might have heard about Monty Python and others mightn't, because it's the type of show that you've either watched or you haven't watched. Now, I've been watching Monty Python for a good few years, and I have to say that of all the comedies I've ever watched, it's probably one of the funniest, if not certain aspects of it, the funniest things that I've ever watched. A lot of the guys in Monty Python, you know, they started off, they might have actually started off in Monty Python. You know, I know John Cleese, who went on to do Fawlty Towers. He went on to do movies like A Fish Called Wanda, and he's done several other big stage and screen adaptations of whatever. Very successful actor, very funny guy. Still alive and rocking today. It's the same with the other guys. Tim Robbins, who was pre-Monty Python. He was in the shows that preceded Monty Python. He was in The Goodies. That's a show that I've only ever seen a few times, but great actor, very funny, very camp, but very funny. Michael Palin, no, the guy that was one of the founding members, but not only one of the founding members, one of the main guys, one of the main men in Monty Python. He's still around today. He's done a good few things, including, as you probably all know, he's done the Michael Palin adventure stories, things like that. So he's been a major contributor to British telly. Of course, then you've got the likes of poor old Graham Chapman. Graham Chapman, I think, is dead about 27 years now. He was only 48 when he died. Graham Chapman was the victim, if you like, from what I can gather from Monty Python. He was the victim of it. He was the one in the sketches who was hello Toby. He was the one in the sketches who always seemed to be playing a character who was looking for something he couldn't get, or falling victim to a service that he didn't want. And I have to be honest with you, it's the only thing I've ever seen Graham Chapman in. Great actor. May he rest in peace. And the same goes for Marty Feldman. Now, the first time I ever saw Marty Feldman, although he wasn't in Monty Python, was in what they called At Last the 1948 show, which was a very old show that they never show that. Come to think of it, they never show Monty Python on Gold, UK Gold, whatever they're calling it these days. They don't show anything black and white really on Gold. So I'd say most of the shows that I watch would be sort of you know, 70s and upwards comedies, like you know, it was Monty Python was a bit before that. But I have to say I enjoyed it. Now, Marty Feldman was known for his big bulb-like eyes, and they went out like that, as if he was looking on either side. Again, he died, I think 1982 he died. He was only 48 when he died. He was funny, from what I can gather, but there wasn't much about him because you were so focused on his appearance. There wasn't a lot about him that you could ever take seriously. You know, I mean, none of us is perfect, all the rest of it, but he was, I think Marty Feldman probably suffered from self-confidence issues in his time. But overall, I have to say that recently I watched a sketch, which I had seen before, which is called the Four Yorkshiremen. And I have to say, lads and lassies, that nearly had me tears of laughter streaming down my face, because I was watching this, and it was the normal situation of, well, I've got this, yeah, well, I've got this and it's better than what you've got. You know, I've got something better than you type thing was a role reversal. And it was what it was it was like the opening lines are, you know, who would have thought 40 years ago that we'd be sat here drinking Chateau de Pape on the balcony overlooking the sunset and the sea. Aye, back then we'd have been glad of the price of a cup of tea or coffee, aye, or sugar, or tea, or a cup, or a crack cup. We didn't even have a cup. We used to sup tea out of a rolled up newspaper. You were lucky. Best we could manage was to suck on a piece of damp cloth. That line had me in stitches, you know. And then they go from there, and it's about where they lived when they were young, what they did for a living. You know, I worked in the mine 16 hours a day, and I got home and I'd eat a lump of cold gravel, and my father would thrash us to sleep with his belt. Paradise. You were lucky. I used to get out of bed at 10:30 at night, go to work, do a 29-hour shift in a 24-hour day, eat a lump of cold poison when I got home, and my father would kill us and dance about on our graves singing hallelujah. I'll tell you something, John Cleese and Graham Chapman really made that sketch, and I have to say, even though it was in black and white, you know, there's not much black and white that I have seen. I would say that other than movies, obviously, which I've watched on the telly, I would say that the only other show I've ever probably seen in black and white was the older episodes of Coronation Street. You know, you'd see them on YouTube or whatever, but I have to say that particular sketch was so damn funny. I have to rate it now. It's possibly going to be my number one, I have to say. Anything that can make me laugh is a gore. But I have to say, shout out to all the Monty Python guys. Because you've really made my week. And you know, when you've a lot in your mind and you want to laugh, laughter is good medicine. And I have to say, they don't make comedies like that anymore. A lot of the comedies they're making these days don't even have a laughing track. And I would go as far as to say that the last good comedy they made, which was I think the late 90s, they still show reruns of it, and the odd Christmas special here and there is made, is The Royal Family. And I have to say, everything that's come after The Royal Family, which has been on the TV for a fairly long time now, has been below average. But if you go long back before my time, which is a fucking long time ago, you'll find some real gems. And I have to say, Monty Python, check it out if you haven't watched it. I would highly recommend it. And anything with John Cleese in it, I would definitely recommend it.